Hey everybody, welcome back to Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew, and today it's time for another Diamond Select statue review. And the one that we're looking at today is kicking off a new franchise for Diamond Select, and it's one that honestly I'm surprised it took them this long to get. And that's because today we're taking a look at Diamond Select's Game of Thrones PVC statue series, and we're starting things off today with somebody who knows nothing, and that will be Jon Snow. Portrayed by Kit Harington across the HBO Game of Thrones series, the show which ended before the books, which by the way, we're still waiting on George R.R. Martin. It's only been like, what, 2 decades? This PVC figure diorama is based on our character, who at this point appears to be at the wall, I believe, if I'm following my chronology correctly, the series, and it's been a while since I watched it, but yeah, this is our Jon Snow. He comes with his wolf companion. It seems really cool, and this is just the start of things, so yeah, I'm excited to dive into this and see how this statue compares to a lot of others out there. But first, I do want to talk about the box real quick, and there isn't a ton to talk about here. It's your typical Diamond Select packaging, simple box shape. You've got a ton of windows across all the sides to give you a great view into what this figure diorama or statue, whatever you want to call it, comes with. And that brief glimpse of all the minute details are really enticing because there's a lot of really nice little work in there. We've got a window on the front, a window on each of the sides, and of course, as always, because it's Diamond Select, you gotta have the sunroof. The back of the packaging doesn't really include much else about this other than just to let you know that it's a gallery diorama, and that's really it. There's no bio, no other information whatsoever, just an image of the statue. But what it does tell us is, as far as I'm concerned, the most important information on this packaging, which is that it was designed by Nelson Asensio and sculpted by Ed Trujillo. And really that's all you need to know about the box because it's pretty simple. Nice Game of Thrones designs on it, you got your throne behind it. That's really it. I mean, really the main event is going to be the statue itself, so let's go ahead and see if we can crown ourselves a king, or if this, well, belongs back up at the wall. Let's get it out of the box. The Jon Snow gallery diorama statue measures in at over 10 inches tall, and in case you're wondering, the exact period the statue represents is from Season 8. It's an impressive looking piece that stands battle ready, and offers a lot of minute details that make this a true beauty. From the fabric to the weaponry, and really everything in between, this is exactly what you want a Game of Thrones statue to be like, and one with a price point that's also quite nice. Let's kick things off here by spending some time discussing the likeness and asking the question of whether or not this looks like Jon Snow as played by Kit Harington. That answer is an easy yes. It's a very good likeness, especially for a PVC piece. The icy expression, coupled with an accurate looking brow, nose, lips, and cheek structure, make it instantly recognizable as who it's supposed to be. The scar across his eye is painted with fine detail, as is his beard, although beards can admittedly be not the best looking when it comes to PVC statues at this price point, and we've seen that plenty times in the past. Frankly, beards are kind of difficult to do, it seems like, at most action figures and statues that are priced between this like kind of $20 to $60 range. So this one here, it's actually pretty decent and I think well done for what it is. Likewise, the hair on his head and his Jon Snow man bun really complete the look. The stringy looking hair is just exactly like how he would look in the show, partly disheveled but also still quite handsome. The paint is simple and subtle here too, with no slop to pull you out of the moment, so overall it's a very solid and good looking sculpt. As for the outfit on Jon Snow, this is just gorgeous to look at. The quilted armor you can see on his sleeves, the leather gauntlets that have cracks on them and seem like they've actually been used in combat, and his fur cloak as well all look amazing. There are also plenty of tiny details to find the more you spend looking at this piece. For example, Jon Snow's armor isn't as ornate as a Lannister's might be, but there are still all sorts of screen-accurate bits and pieces to really complete the look. And there's lots of things you normally wouldn't notice if you were watching the show, but here in this case, now you're able to actually finally soak it in, and that attention to detail is what makes this so astonishing. Especially for folks who are fans of fantasy and medieval type things, this is really going to be up your alley. The cloak that Jon wears is also present here, draped across his shoulders and nearly touching the ground beneath him. There's an excellent pattern across this piece of clothing that is easy to miss at first glance, but worth taking the time to look into. I also really dig the fur trim and just how all the different textures on this piece across the board all look unique from each other. His boots are caked in mud from the impending battle, and that mud is part of the base we're going to get to in a moment. But first, let's talk about the other character that's part of this statue here, and that would be his direwolf Ghost. Now, Ghost has clearly seen better days by this point in Season 8, but is still a very good boy. His sculpting is on point, and I love the fur detail that makes him somehow look both regal and battle-worn at the same time. There's a real energy to Ghost, a commanding presence, if you will, that makes him just as imposing as his master standing beside him. While they might be different heights, they are sculpted as equals in this statue, sharing a similar amount of weight in the piece. In other words, it's very balanced despite one being bigger than the other. It represents how human and wolf are one and the same, linked by some unspoken bond, and it's a very nice sentiment and a powerful one captured in this gallery diorama piece. Another character shown here isn't one as animated as either of these two mammals because, well, it's Jon Snow's sword, Longclaw. Originally made of Valerian steel, but shown here in mold-injected plastic, this sword adds a lot of the height to this piece, and the angle of it also helps to move the viewer's eye better throughout the entire statue. The weapon itself has a great metallic luster with a nice sharp point at the tip, and even the handle and hilt have some design work in them, making this very, very screen accurate. The base of this piece is circular and comprises mainly of three things: mud, dirt, and soil. And yes, they're all the same thing, but that's because that is what the ground that Jon Snow is standing on here in this piece is. It's muddy and cruddy, but the reddish-brown colors really help to add some brightness to this otherwise very gray and dark and almost depressing kind of piece. Likewise, the base itself is very interesting, with a sort of repeating Celtic pattern running around it, stopped by the House of Stark Crest, very near to where Ghost is located. The bluish-gray appearance makes the piece feel very classical, and I'm wondering if future Game of Thrones PVC statues will be using this same motif across the entire line. Overall, this Jon Snow and Ghost statue, because that's really how this should be marketed in my opinion, is an outstanding first entry in Diamond Select's Game of Thrones series. This is the total package as far as authentic looking outfit, great head sculpt and likeness, slick paint job, plus a very, very good boy and a cool base to boot. There is so much good in this piece that it's setting the bar very high for future entries in this series, and I'm ready to see who's going to be next to keep that momentum going. If you want to pick up this Jon Snow Game of Thrones PVC gallery diorama statue from Diamond Select for your own collection, check out the affiliate links in the description of this video below. If you click on any of those and buy anything using them, they help support this YouTube channel at no extra cost to you. Let me know who you want to see joining this line next, because there's a whole lot of options and possibilities here. I know who I want to see next, but I'm very curious to see what you're thinking about this line. So until next time, I'm Matthew. This has been Nerd News Today. Thanks for watching this video, and until next time, winter is coming.